My expectations were that it was going to be a very dark psychological analysis of a serial killer. And it's really not that in the slightest, you know. I mean, I think that Bret Easton Ellis saw these privileged young guys in Manhattan behaving badly in the 80s and sort of asked himself, well, how far will they go and how much can they get away with? And that's why you have this sort of ludicrous idea of Bateman being a serial killer. But it's an analysis of these yuppies, of Wall Street at the time, of these trust fund kids, and of men, you know, and violence. And I had no idea that that was what it was going to be, and that Bateman would cut such a ridiculous figure as well. You know, he's endlessly entertaining. Not somebody that you'd want to know, but certainly somebody that, you know, you would find fascinating to eavesdrop on, you know, in a restaurant.
No matter how chronically online you think you are, there will always just be a part of the internet where you just have no idea what is going on over there. Although, ever since I was a teenager, I think I've always subconsciously known that there was a group of young, straight, white men, especially middle to upper class, that loved to dress up as Patrick Bateman from the iconic movie 2000 movie American Psycho, especially around Halloween time. But it really didn't hit me until I saw this video on my TikTok For You page, surprise surprise, of this person explaining that there is a quiet phenomenon of this demographic of people that not only are inspired by Patrick Bateman, but straight up idolize him. I think what shocked me, why I'm so surprised by this, is because I didn't even know that this was happening, that so many people were romanticizing Patrick Bateman. I especially find this romanticizing so ironic because the types of people that are inspired by Patrick Bateman are the same types of people that the social commentary in the movie is making fun of. Hence, the people who are inspired by Patrick really not understanding the themes and the messages in the movie. So yes, in this video we're going to be talking about the film American Psycho, its themes. We're going to be doing a character analysis on Patrick Bateman, and we will be talking about Sigma males, men who typically see characters like Patrick Bateman and Nate Jacobs from Euphoria as anti-heroes and misunderstood baddies. And just a quick disclaimer, I am pulling my source material from the movie and not the book, and I know that there are some changes in the movie from the book, so I'm only pulling like that sort of source material as I've never read the book. And with all that being said, please enjoy the video and let's get started.
Make it hits, motherfucker. Do you jiggle your dick when your bitch pop singing on the licorice hit? You know, can I catch your eye, sir? Can I be what you like? Yeah, I could be the right girl. Tell me if you like your lady in my night color.
American Psycho is a 2000 satirical psychological thriller directed by Mary Herron, starring Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman. It's about this wealthy New York investment banker who lives a double life as a serial killer. The movie was adapted from a novel by Bret Easton Ellis, which is a social commentary on 1980s yuppie culture through Bateman's vain and violent fantasies. And here's some tea for you guys. Originally, Leonardo DiCaprio was supposed to star as Patrick Bateman with director Oliver Stone, but left because social activist and feminist Gloria Steinem convinced DiCaprio his young fan base of girls would be offended by his violence towards women in the film. Oliver Stone left alongside DiCaprio, and Lionsgate brought back Mary Herron to direct. Mary always wanted Christian Bale to portray the role of Patrick Bateman, as she thought Leonardo DiCaprio had too much of a boyish charm. Christian Bale was only 26 when getting the role, and some other actors considered for Bateman included Billy Crudup, Johnny Depp, Edward Norton, and Brad Pitt, and put a pin in that. Bale was the absolute best choice for the role of Patrick Bateman, and I can't even imagine anyone else portraying him. I'm sure Leo would have done a great job, but I'm really glad that the role was given to Christian Bale. Bateman is a part of the Manhattan yuppie culture of the 80s. Yuppie is short for young urban professional. It is a term coined in the early 1980s for a young professional person in a city. A pop culture example of a yuppie other than Patrick Bateman is Leonardo DiCaprio's character in The Wolf of Wall Street, directed by Martin Scorsese. A modern day example of a yuppie would be a finance bro. In the workplace in this movie, people are judged on superficial things like business cards, where they're able to get reservations, their clothes. It's a very shallow work environment, and it's almost to the point, no, it really is to the point where these people are seen as products and not as individuals. And in the movie, there's this running joke, this running gag that every yuppies, their identity is mistaken for someone else's. And trust and believe that plays a very important part to the story of the movie. Patrick Bateman is rich, he's tall, he's successful, he is white, he's a white man, and he is the ideal man, and he is the male beauty standard, especially the American male beauty standard. In the movie, we also learn that he comes from money, and his dad practically owns the investment banking company where he works at, so it's more than likely that he didn't have to go through the process of climbing the corporate ladder, rather than it was handed to him. Patrick also attended an Ivy League. He went to Harvard University and he went to Harvard Business School, which makes sense as his family could afford his tuition and his education. As Bateman is a part of a competitive work hustle culture, he does certain things to maintain his top dog, manly man has it all together image. He has a very strict diet, he has a very complex skincare routine, he works out to upkeep his muscular body. He's also a music head and shares very interesting analyses about music, and he buys very expensive designer clothes. He's a man obsessed with curating the perfect, ideal masculine image. And he is such a performative male. Like, no joke, I'm pretty sure he was the one that started the whole performative male trend on TikTok. I'm pretty sure he started that. If Patrick Bateman was a 20-something-year-old today, he definitely would have been streaming the album Slang by Clairo, and he would be definitely sipping on some green matcha, while in fact going to work carrying his labubu. Well, yes. At dinner with work colleagues, he talks about the importance of women's rights, equals rights, needing to feed the homeless, needing to stop terrorism. Like, this man, but to him, this is all bullshit. He doesn't mean what he actually says. He just wants to look good in front of people and just make a good impression, because this is an image he wants to upkeep. It's like I said, he was a performative male. As you can see, the movie touches on themes of consumerism, toxic masculinity, and superficiality. Bateman tries so hard to be that guy who has it all together, but deep down, he is very insecure. And there is one scene that I think perfectly encapsulates this, and it's one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. And this is, of course, the business card scene. So I mentioned this earlier, but like I said, his work environment is very competitive and everyone wants to outdo each other. So there's this one scene where he's showing his coworkers his new business card, and he's so proud of it. He's proud of the material and he's proud of the font, but then everyone else starts showing their business cards and he starts getting very insecure, especially when Paul Allen starts to show his card. That really sets Bateman off. And Paul Allen in the movie is, of course, portrayed by Jared Leto. And one thing about Jared Leto in the late 90s to early 2000s, he definitely was in the movies. I mean, Girl Interrupted, Fight Club, American Psycho, Requiem for a Dream. He was in the movies. Patrick Bateman feels no sense of control and no emotional satisfaction with his own life, so in order to take that control back, he murders people. Patrick often kills people he views as less valuable, such as women and a homeless man. Patrick Bateman is a narcissist, he's classist, he's misogynistic, and he lacks empathy. But he also kills Paul Allen because he's jealous of him and he sees him as competition. As there's this one part where there's this very high-end exclusive restaurant in the movie called Dorsia, and Paul Allen was able to get the reservation, and there's this running joke throughout the movie that Bateman was never able to get that reservation. And of course there was other reasons to why Patrick was jealous of Paul. So like I said, he was able to get the reservation, Paul had the better business card, and he was a good looking dude with nice clothes and a good job, and he also had the nicer, more expensive apartment. So of course Patrick would see Paul as a threat. And of course, we obviously have to talk about Bateman's blatant misogyny. In the beginning of the movie, he imagines telling a female bartender at the bar in the club that she's a fucking ugly bitch and that he wants to stab her to death and play around with her blood. And also near the beginning of the movie, there's this part where he goes to pick up his dry cleaning, but he's yelling at the woman, complaining that there's a stain on his sheets, and he threatens to kill her if she doesn't shut up.
If you don't shut your fucking mouth, I will kill you.
He does also have a fiance, Evelyn, Evelyn, portrayed by Reese Witherspoon, and we only see her with him in public settings such as the dinner with work colleagues and at the Christmas party. He even breaks up with her at a diner, and he only uses her for social status, and he doesn't respect or care for her as a person, as he is actively cheating on her. He also kills a lady named Christine. Well, we don't know if that's her actual name. That's just the name that he calls her. And she is a prostitute, and he kills her rather than they have sex by dropping a literal chainsaw on her at the stairwell. He does this because he's sadistic and he has his own sexual insecurities and he can't emotionally connect during intimacy, so he takes it out on her, of course. Patrick is also kind of a big music head. An interesting detail I really liked in the movie was when he was about to kill somebody in a living room, he would play music and share interesting analysis about the song or the music he was playing.
You like Tame Impala?
Yeah, they're okay.
Actually, it's not they. It's one guy, Kevin Parker. He records and mixes all his own instruments. His old stuff is a little too psychedelic for my taste. But when Currents came out in 2015, I think he really came into his own, commercially and artistically.
How I kind of perceived this was him trying to have one last kind of emotional connection, as music is one of the most emotional things to ever exist. But I do want to talk about the song Patrick plays right before he kills Paul Allen, and that song is called Hip to Be Square by Huey Lewis and the News. Right before Patrick kills Paul, he gives an incorrect analysis of the song Hip to Be Square by Huey Lewis and the News. And I want to read a little bit about the song from the website Genius. Square often refers to someone who fits well into the system, a grid if you will. The speaker in the song has decided that it's hip to be square. He used to try and fight the system, but now he has decided to fit in and be square. It was about a phenomenon that articulated much better in a book called Bobos in Paradise. The phenomenon where people from the 60s started to drop back in, cut their hair, work out, that kind of crap. But they kept their bohemian taste, and that's why today the ruling class are Bobos. They're bourgeoisie bohemians. I thought it would be funnier in first person, but I mistold the joke a little bit, and I think some people thought that, in fact, it was an anthem for square people. I love the added layers to this scene and to this dialogue, because Patrick Bateman really does view this song as serious, and he doesn't view it as satire. He doesn't get it. And I especially find this funny because it's like the movie itself is pointing at the audience who does not understand that this movie is satire. I think that's absolutely genius. And very lastly, before I close out this section of the video, I want to talk about Lewis because I thought this part was so funny.
Don't tell me, let me guess. Valentino Couture. Looks so soft.
Your compliment was sufficient.
So later on in the film, while Bateman is being misogynistic and talking with some fellow co-workers, as he does, Lewis runs into them and shows off his new business card, and this of course pisses off Bateman. So he gets the urge to kill Lewis, so he follows him into the bathroom getting ready to strangle him, but Lewis mistakes this as Bateman trying to seduce him.
God, Patrick, why here? I've seen you looking at me. I've noticed your hot body. I want you too.
I also found this amusing because Lewis is really the only colleague that doesn't ever mistake Bateman because he is into him. And the thing that makes this even funnier is Patrick is literally having an affair with Courtney, who is Lewis's fiance. Everyone who is watching this video who have not seen the movie yet, I do want you to skip over this part because I will reveal a major spoiler in this part, and I really want you to watch the movie first because if you see the movie, you will be gagged by this major spoiler. So I really want you to, or if you don't care, watch this part, but if you are interested in the movie so far, please watch the movie and then come back to this video. So around the end of the movie, Patrick goes on this rampage. He is killing a bunch of people, and then he frantically runs into his office, and then he calls up his lawyer, and admits to the crimes. He admits to the crimes that he's done, especially the most important part, which was him confessing that he killed Paul Allen. And the next day, he sees his lawyer at Harry's bar and confronts him about what he told him last night, especially the part about him killing Paul Allen. But not only does Patrick Lawyer mistakes Bateman for someone else and thinks that the whole call was a joke, he also says that Bateman is way too boring and incapable of murder. His lawyer says that it is impossible that he killed Paul Allen because, according to his lawyer, he has had dinner with him twice 10 days ago in London. So this is a shocking revelation to the audience, and it's up to us to decide whether or not all of the killings were real or not. So there are one of three things that have happened. Number one, all of the murders were in Bateman's head and Paul was actually in London. Number two, he thought he killed Paul Allen but mistakes his identity for someone else. And number three, aka my personal favorite, the lawyer mistakes Paul's identity and Bateman actually killed Paul. And this is also the theory I believe the most. I do believe that there are things that happened that didn't actually happen. Like, for example, when he was at the ATM and the ATM told him to feed it a stray cat. Like, obviously that didn't happen.
Here, kitty, kitty.
Oh my God, what are you doing? Stop that!
And also another thing that happened in his imagination, with most of the women he was interacting with throughout the film, he told them very gruesome, violent things, but we know that this did not occur because the women had no sort of reaction to it. But it really doesn't matter whether he did or didn't kill all those people, because at the very end of the movie, he tells you he does not care. And he gives this really chilling monologue at the very end of the movie. And once again, I'm just very glad that Christian Bale was chosen to be American Psycho, was chosen to be Patrick Bateman.
But even after admitting this, there is no catharsis. My punishment continues to elude me, and I gain no deeper knowledge of myself. No new knowledge can be extracted from my telling. This confession has meant nothing.
And I also think in this corporate competitive world, no one else really cares because there is so many opportunities for him to get caught and he didn't. But then again, it could just be the thing of him thinking he's getting away with it and him thinking he killed all these people, but all of it being in his head. But I like to believe that the murders were not actually in his head, but other things were. Plenty of gym bros find inspiration in Patrick Bateman's physique and want to achieve the type of body he has, but Christian Bale actually went through this very rigorous, strict diet that is so strict that even doctors and other health professionals do not recommend. In 2022, Tom Ward wrote how Bateman's intense workout routine is now a TikTok trend for GQ, saying, "Of course, in many ways, this body is extremely restrictive. As Farron Morin, founder of the Tactical Athlete Training Method, explains, you will need to undergo a highly restrictive no-cheat diet and an intensive 4-day strength training workout plan to obtain his highly defined abs, thick biceps, broad shoulders, and sculpted V-taper that he shows in the movie," he says. So people not being careful or going at it too hard can lead people down a very dangerous path. Speaking of people going down dangerous paths, we have to talk about Sigma males. The Sigma male is a popular internet archetype for a man who's independent and an introvert and works outside the traditional social hierarchies, often being compared to the lone wolf. The term was first coined by far-right activist, writer, and terrible human being Theodore Robert Beale, more commonly known as Vox Day, on a nationalist blog in 2010, and he describes the Sigma male as an introverted alpha male who likes to play by his own rules. Character examples in media include Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, Keanu Reeves' John Wick, and Brad Pitt's Tyler Durden. The archetype also ties into work and hustle culture. The Sigma male mindset is rooted in feelings of being misunderstood and that their dark, twisted genius is too grand for conventional society. So they adhere to masculine ideas of what it means to be successful, getting a lot of money, and having a banging hot body. Some even go to extreme levels to achieve this, such as taking shady supplements and steroids, crazy intense workout routines, preparing niche diet meal plans, and starting their day off at 5 a.m., aka the Sigma grind set. All that, but you can't go to therapy. Like, am I right? Am I right?
Men need therapy.
Plenty of incels and Sigma males are inspired by Patrick Bateman, as they see him as an anti-hero and he takes matters into his own hands and he goes against modern society. It seems obvious by now, but many incels and Sigma males share the same ideologies, especially voicing their hatred and misogyny towards women on the manosphere, places on the internet such as blog sites, online forums, 4chan, and incel subreddits. Two in real life people who are the poster children for the Sigma male are Andrew Tate and Joe Rogan. Many young conservative white men look up to them, and plenty of their Sigma male talking points go viral on apps such as TikTok and YouTube. No, but we actually need to take away their microphones. During the COVID-19 lockdown, memes started to trend on TikTok, such as Bateman walking around his workplace listening to music on his Walkman, and also the meme of Patrick checking himself out in the mirror. Also around this time, plenty of teenage boys and young men posted TikTok videos cosplaying as Bateman, lip-syncing to iconic lines from the film, and treating Patrick Bateman as some sort of aesthetic because, of course, why not?
I'm on a diet, but thank you.
You don't need to lose any weight. You're kidding, right? You look great. Very fit.
You can always be thinner. Look better.
By design of the algorithm, these types of videos gained a lot of traction, especially with teenagers who have never seen the movie before. Girls were sipping over the Bateman cosplayers and the boys were inspired by them, some even copying the cosplayers. And speaking of trending TikTok videos and meme culture and Patrick Bateman memes, because the internet is the internet and the term Sigma male was birthed on the internet, alt-left meme accounts on Instagram started making parody memes and jokes of Sigma males during lockdown, and rightfully so because these communities are very harmful, hateful, misogynistic, and right-leaning. But what makes these parody meme accounts so funny is that the people that are subscribed to the Sigma male mindset aren't aware that they're being made fun of. Just like how they don't realize the type of people they're inspired by in American Psycho are the people that the film is criticizing and laughing at. But unfortunately, as long as we're living in a patriarchy and people continue to lack media literacy, these types of people will always exist, but all we can do is point and laugh at them. Also, because the internet is massive with so many different spaces, the term Sigma male has been recycled so many times and in so many online spaces has lost its original meaning. Some kids aren't even aware of it. Hell, some kids don't even know who Patrick Bateman is. I can only imagine some Gen Alpha, they hear the word Sigma and the first thing they think of is the phrase, "What the Sigma?" Which is basically this, like, I can't even explain it. It's like this brain rot meme thing. That has no meaning. It's basically like today's 6'7". I'm literally someone who is Generation Z, but I do not understand what these kids are saying, what these youngsters are saying these days. I know nothing about Skibbity Toilet. I know nothing about 6'7". I know nothing about what the Sigma, like, but hey, it's their thing. It's their thing. I'm gonna let them have their thing. And some people misunderstand what the term Sigma male actually means. Some might think it means a man that's trying too hard to be masculine, and some thinks it's a man who works out too much. And because a lot of Gen Alpha is so unaware of the original meaning of Sigma male, the language gets normalized, which is unfortunate because the original meaning of the word comes from a very, very harmful and toxic place. I read so many amazing articles when doing research for this video, but I want to read a few articles, and this one, it comes from a man named Steve Rose, and he wrote for The Guardian, and it says, "You're normalizing problematic discourse, but also in that normalization, the meaning of these terms changes and gets reappropriated by different online communities, and ultimately, it ends up with people using it in a very different way than was probably originally intended." I also want to read two excerpts from this day's article that I found that talks about the memification of Sigma males and why a lot of men feel the need to be Sigma males. And both of these quotes I'm about to read, they come from a person that runs meme accounts. I think for some boys and young men looking to validate their masculinity or make sense of their role in the world with daunting masculine expectations from their peers, this kind of alpha, sigma, beta identity system can be grounded and fits nicely with internet era identity formation. Another one reads, this is undeniable pressure on men to behave in a way that under the wrong circumstances can foster many bad traits. Combine that with Western hyper-individualism and it could create a real sense of isolation. And see how this is also tying into that whole online discourse we were having about the male loneliness epidemic. And once again I say, and who set that system up? And who set that system up?
You know, most people commit suicide are men. Most people who work in dangerous workplaces are men. Most people who fight in war are men.
And who set that system up?
Men.
I have so many final thoughts, so let me just get right into it, as if I haven't already talked too much. Before I close out this video, I have to talk about the cultural significance of American Psycho, not only the memification or the TikTokification of Patrick Bateman, but also traditional media as well. It is literally the fact that it's been a quarter of a century since this film has been released, and we're still talking about it today because it is still so relevant today. And funny enough, I was rewatching this movie about 2 nights ago, and during certain parts I thought of the TV show Swarm. And if you have no idea what Swarm is, in 2023, a miniseries titled Swarm, created by Janine Nabers and Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, was released on Prime Video. It's about a crazed, obsessed Nyjah fan, portrayed by Dominique Fishback, named Dre, stalking and murdering victims that speak harshly about the singer on social media. The story in the show is very much inspired by the real-life fandom Beehive, which are Beyonce fans, aka why the show is titled Swarm. Throughout the miniseries, Dre has this line where she would say to her potential victims, and it would be, who's your favorite artist? And that's the part that really reminded me of American Psycho. I found this Medium article. It was written by Kay Barrett, who was criticizing Swarm, the limited series, and I wanted to read an excerpt about the possible American Psycho reference. She writes, the barrage of senseless violence in Swarm inserts Dre into a gruesome genre. Halfway through the limited series, Dre mops up the blood of her most recent victim while dancing to a Nyjah song. In style, content, and execution, the scene is reminiscent of the Hip to Be Square murder in American Psycho 2000. Except, unlike Christian Bale's Patrick Bateman, who lures his victim into his pristine apartment, Dre is an outsider, a wanderer who infiltrates the home of the privileged. Dre is the Black American Psycho. Now, circling back to Brad Pitt and Edward Norton.
About the seeds of fascism, we've heard, I love you, Ed. Yeah.
Those two starred in this little indie movie. It was called Fight Club. You might have heard of it, and it was directed by this director named David Fincher. You might have heard of him. And funny thing about that movie, yes, also that has Jared Leto in it, and it was released a year before American Psycho in 1999. And just like American Psycho, albeit very different stories and storytelling, they both deal with themes such as consumerism and toxic masculinity and not feeling satisfied with your life. And also Brad Pitt's character Tyler Durden, like I mentioned before, would be considered a Sigma male, as he is the ideal type of man, masculine man, that goes against conventional modern society. And just a funny thought, when I watched Fight Club for the very first time, I really just thought to myself that, wow, this is a very queer-coded movie. And then while researching the movie and just learning more about it, I found out that the person who actually wrote the novel is a gay man. And just like the man who wrote the novel for American Psycho, he's also a gay man as well. We see each other. We see each other. And speaking of gay men, you may or may not know this, but Luca Guadagnino, he is one of my favorite directors. As of right now, he is my current favorite director. And I don't know if you heard, but it has been announced that he is working on his own interpretation of American Psycho. Now, it's going to be nothing like the 2000 version. It's going to be his own interpretation, and I'm really excited for that. And as of right now, as we know, Austin Butler is going to be Patrick Bateman in this movie. And to be honest, I really thought Jacob Elordi would make a really good Patrick Bateman, but I know Austin Butler, he's going to kill it. And I actually like the idea of Austin Butler being American Psycho, being Patrick Bateman, because he looks very different from the original. And also Christian Bale and Jacob Elordi, they kind of have similar builds, so. And I think Luca, he just wants to like create his own thing, like do his own thing, and I'm very much excited about that. I hope it doesn't get scrapped. like, I don't know when it's supposed to be coming, but hopefully they're working on it. Like, I'm gonna need that right now. And it's just so interesting, this whole conversation we're having about Sigma males. I feel like we've always had this type of male, this type of archetype of person. It's just that, you know, that terrible man Theodore actually gave it a name. And I feel like it's even more intense because there's an online community and people don't have to feel so alone anymore. It's so wicked. It's disgusting. It's gross. But I think before the internet, there was a time when people just felt like, oh, I must be the only one feeling like this. And they go online and they find this community, and it's just, yeah, I don't even have the words for it. It's just, I think history just has a funny way of repeating itself, but now that cycle, that circle, it's getting much more darker and deeper because online communities are forming and spreading their toxicity on the internet. But if you are a Sigma male, or if you're thinking about becoming a Sigma male, how about we read a book, or how about we watch American Psycho and really look at this movie, watch this movie and look at it in an analytical lens and try to discuss what the movie is trying to say. How about we do that? Because you being a Sigma male, that's not helping nobody. That's not helping nobody, my guy. But yes, that is my video, and you guys, please tell me what you think. What are your thoughts, your opinions? What do you think about Sigma males? What do you think about Patrick Bateman? What do you think about American Psycho? Obviously, you know I love this movie. I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't. I just find this so fascinating. It's so funny that a lot of men love this movie, especially because a gay man wrote the book. A gay man literally created the character of Patrick Bateman, and a woman directed it. So I love it so much. I love it so much. But anyway, yeah, what do you think? Like, this conversation of Sigma males, what do you think about Patrick Bateman? What do you think about American Psycho? Yeah, I'm like, it's like funny because, again, men, they're saying they're lonely, but they're blaming women for it. Men, they're saying they're lonely, but again, who set that system up? It's your fault. It's your, like, pick up a hobby. Go out and meet people. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. And I know, it's been 4 months ever since I've, like, last uploaded. But trust and believe, your boy was going through it. Trust and believe, your boy was going through it. Like, it's been, and I know I always make that excuse, but seriously, I was actually going through it. But now, I hope 2026 is kinder to me. I see myself, like, I will be doing this, but hopefully I'll be able to make more videos and just have fun and just whatever, because it's, I don't know, yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now. This is the end of the video. I had so much fun making this video. I had so much fun yapping. I had so much fun researching. The research for this video was so much fun. The rewatch of American Psycho, so much fun. I will be rewatching soon because this movie did something to my brain. It actually did. And like I keep saying throughout this entire video, Christian Bale did a phenomenal job. Like, I can't wait to see his other projects. And he does have an Oscar. He is an Academy Award winning, like, actor, so I can't wait to see his other projects and, like, get more into him, because yeah, love him. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hi, this is Paul. Been called away to London for a few days. Meredith, I'll call you when I get back. Hasta la vista, baby.
Sabrina, don't just stare at it, eat it.
Would you like to hear the specials?
Not if you want to keep your spleen.
You look nice today.
Don't wear that outfit again. Get a goddamn job!
I'm trying to listen to the new Robert Palmer tape, but Evelyn, my supposed fiancée, keeps buzzing in my ear.
You're late. Hey, I'm a child of divorce. Give me a break.
You can always be thinner. Look better. I see a pretty girl walking down the street. I think two things. One part of me wants to take her out and talk to her, be real nice and sweet and treat her right.
And what the other part of him think?
What her head would look like on a stick. I would just like to see the two of you
Get it on.
Patrick! Is that you?
No, Lewis, it's not me. You're mistaken.
You look so soft.
Your compliment was sufficient.
People just disappear.
The earth just opens up and swallows them.
Who's Ted Bundy?
Forget it.